What's been the reaction to the website so far?
It's been nothing short of amazing. I mean, like I said, when I started it, we just wanted to share it with some friends and family, and now it's actually the #1 spiritual stories website online. You know, if you go to any of the major search engines, it pretty much shows up as #1 for spiritual stories, and you know, on a bad day, it might be ranking #2. You know, I mean, it's and the people that submit their stories, I think, has been really touching because they finally have a voice. They have a place to share it, and it's become, you know, in a way, a community where people can share what's going on in their lives through the art of story writing. So the response has been really positive.
You think a lot of the stories they post there are true stories, or are they kind of fictionalized accounts of people's lives, or a mixture of both?
I would say probably both. I mean, my own experience with writing, you know, I've posted 5 or 6 stories on there, and one of them is, you know, complete, absolute truth, word for word. One of them is 95% truth with 5% fiction. Another one is writing a true story about someone else and then fictionalizing it. You know, I mean,
that's quite a good idea.
Yeah, so I've done, you know, I personally have done so many different things that I'm sure other people have done the same thing as well. And so it's interesting to sometimes wonder where that line is when I read someone else's story and say, is that true? Or is that, I don't know, I'm curious.
Yeah, it's kind of the fun part. What have been some of the challenges to running spiritual short stories?
One of the biggest ones is the growth. I mean, I didn't plan for it to grow, and it continues to grow and become a larger and larger community. And so I've had to figure out how I can still serve people while that growth is happening, especially because I love the personal one-on-one touch. I love to be able to connect with people authentically. And that's one thing a lot of my subscribers to the newsletter have commented on, is that I'm a real person, that they feel like they can get to know me. And that's been a big challenge. I added a help desk that's with a lot of frequently asked questions, you know, technical stuff like, hey, I didn't get my email, you know, can you help? Or I'm having trouble downloading your free gifts. So that helps with a lot of, you know, a lot of questions that come my way. And there's still the people that are looking to connect. And so I've started interacting more on Facebook and Twitter and offering people a way to interact more in real time with me and kind of move away from the traditional email reply threads that I can post something on Facebook and, you know, 3, 4, 5 people can get value from it, connect, and I can respond to all 3, 4, 5 with one comment. So that's been one of the challenges, really, is just working with the growth. And also along those lines, Facebook and Twitter are really changing the way that website owners connect with their audience. A lot of people don't realize when they're running a website, you know, they see newsletter subscriber lists and website hits, and they go, yeah, I get 10,000 hits a month, and I have 5,000 subscribers on my list, and it ends there, and those are the numbers they identify with. But the second I moved to Facebook and Twitter, a new set of challenges arose, which is that of me having to move past numbers and see everybody as a unique individual as I'm interacting with them, to see the people and the challenges they go through on a daily basis.
Wow, that sounds like that would be a very interesting, challenging, and rewarding process.
Very rewarding and interesting and challenging, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you mentioned free gifts. What sort of free gifts can we get?
Let's see. When someone subscribes immediately, there's 3 of them. There's the 7 Spiritual Stories ebook, which is pretty self-explanatory. 7 spiritual stories I chose that I particularly like, and I included pictures and you know, kind of just tried to make them come to life a little bit more. And then there's 2 other ebooks that I give out. One is 10 spiritual books that will change your life, and it's reviews of 10 spiritual books that I really like and have found value in. Some of them are really obvious, but some of them people either have not heard of or didn't realize were spiritual books. And so I really love that resource because it opens people up to new possibilities. And then the last one is 25 must-see spiritual movies, and that's another ebook full of reviews of, again, 25 movies that may not seem spiritual or maybe are really obviously spiritual, but just resources I found valuable. So those are the 3 people get when they sign up. And then over time, I give out more whenever I make something new or want to share something. So it's not like a one-time thing. I'm always sharing new stories through email. That's actually been a feature that people really like, is about every 10 days or so I send a spiritual story in email, and after it I actually include reflection questions. And the purpose of those questions is to not to tell people what I think the story means, because I don't think that's very helpful in a person's spiritual path, but instead the questions are designed so that other people can figure out their own truths and figure out how to apply the story in their own lives. So that way it doesn't matter what, religion or spiritual path someone has. Every person will find a unique truth and then act on it in accordance with their own lives. And that's actually, that whole series of emails has spawned a book that I've written. And so I'm going to be going out and have an agent, and I'll be seeking a publisher for it starting in August. And it was all spawned because of this, reflection question format, similar in nature to what Spiritual Cinema Circle does with their movies.
Oh, that's great. That's really cool.